Three chefs, 4 ingredients, only one chance to win. The challenge. Create an unforgettable meal from the items their audience voted for before time runs out. Their distinguished group of subscribers will critique their work, and they must face the dreaded chopping block. Who will win their audience's taste buds, and who will be chopped? The ingredients are rolled oats, hazelnuts, tofu, and pumpkin puree. Let's hear from one of our contestants.
We are back for another round of the Vegan Chop Challenge. This is actually going to be the last round for a while. I'll explain more about that at the end of the video if you were curious, but I was feeling pretty good about this round. I think tofu is the biggest curveball here, which is what you guys voted on. And we also got some hazelnuts, but I think hazelnuts and pumpkin, nice fall flavors, and you know, I love me some good pumpkin spice. So for my recipe, I am going all gung-ho with the pumpkin spice and fall theme. I don't care if you're gonna judge me because it tastes delicious and who cares? So I am going to be making some pumpkin spice cake pops. The base is going to be a fluffy vegan pumpkin bread, and then I'm going to crumble that up and dip it in chocolate and toasted hazelnuts. I mean, is there really something not to love about that? I don't know, I guess you'll find out because I'm gonna show you how I made it right now. So first step, we're going to tackle this tofu thing and make some tofu quote-unquote cream cheese to use in a cream cheese frosting for our cake pops. So I am using silken tofu, so it's pretty soft. I just combined it with some lemon juice, nutritional yeast, and salt, and then blended that together in order to make a sort of cream cheese mixture. It was still pretty runny though, so I just decided to strain it through a nut milk bag. To be honest, I would just recommend using store-bought vegan cream cheese, but I had to use the tofu, so I decided to do that for this part of the challenge. So now that that's over with, we're going to move on to the more fun part. We're going to start out by making some toasted hazelnut butter, and we're going to add some raw hazelnuts to a pan and just stir them frequently until they become darker and nice and toasty. The pesky thing about hazelnuts is though that they have that little outer skin that makes the butter not as smooth, but there is a hack. You just pour the toasted hazelnuts onto a towel and then fold the towel over the hazelnuts and rub it pretty vigorously with your hands. You may have to do it a few times, but the more you rub it, the more that the outer skin will flake off, as you can sort of see in the towel. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's good to get as many off as you possibly can. So after you've peeled your hazelnuts, you're going to add them to a high-speed blender or a food processor, and we're just going to process them. This takes about 10 minutes total, and initially you will need to scrape down the sides in order for all of the butter to blend well. But toasting the nuts does help beforehand because I think it helps release some of the oil. So when it gets to this point, it kind of looks like a super thick nut butter. A lot of people stop here. Don't stop here. Keep blending. Hold strong. And then eventually the nut butter becomes a lot more smooth and runny, and as you can see here, it is a perfect drizzling texture and oh so freaking delicious. So now we're going to make our pumpkin bread, which for the record tastes amazing. You could totally just make the pumpkin bread and not make the cake pops if you wanted to. We're going to start out by adding some flax seeds and water into a small bowl and then mixing this together in order to form our flax egg. So you can just set that aside, and now we're going to make our oat flour. And normally I don't include this in videos, but I just want to show you guys because I see a lot of common mistakes when people remake recipes. When you make oat flour, you want to blend your oats for at least like 45 seconds. You want them to be a super fine flour like you can see here. Sometimes people don't blend it long enough and it gets really chunky, and then this makes your bread more dense and less fluffy. So after you've blended up your oat flour, we're going to add in some pumpkin pie spice, some baking soda, and some salt, and then whisk this together, and this is going to form the base of our dry ingredients. And then for our wet ingredients, we're going to be using some pumpkin puree, some of that toasted hazelnut butter that we just made, some coconut sugar, though you could sub brown sugar if you don't have coconut sugar, some lemon juice, and that thickened flax egg. And then you're just going to mix everything together until it is well incorporated and it's sort of like a thick pumpkin-y sweet batter. And then after that, you're just going to add in the dry ingredients and carefully mix everything together. I used a spatula, and I do sort of have to work the dough pretty well. The dough is going to be thick after you've mixed it together, but it's totally okay. It's going to fluff up a lot once you put it in the oven. So don't be alarmed and don't add extra liquid because that will actually make it more dense. Then you're going to add your dough into a greased or lined baking pan. I'm using one that's 8 inches by 4 inches in case you are curious, because that does make a difference and it does help make the bread more fluffy. So just smooth the top off with a spatula. Then you're going to bake this for about an hour. And then after it's done baking, you're going to immediately remove it from the pan and then set it on a cooling rack. You do want to let the bread cool completely before slicing. This does play a role in how fluffy it becomes. So just please listen to me if you decide to remake it. I mean, you don't have to, but you know. After we have our gorgeous pumpkin bread, we're going to demolish it and make cake pops. So the tofu cream cheese had thickened quite nicely, as you could see, and I'm just going to sweeten it with a bit of maple syrup and some extra pumpkin pie spice to really bring those pumpkin pie flavors home and be basic AF for fall. So after you've mixed that all together, we're going to move on to crumbling our beautiful fluffy slices of pumpkin bread. Honestly, this tasted really good and I was kind of sad to crumble them, but the chopped video must go on. So you're going to crumble them into a bowl. The good thing is you only need about half a loaf, so you still have half a loaf left to enjoy, but just crumble the bread up into pretty small pieces. You want to make sure they're very fine and there's no big chunks. And then after you have crumbled about half of the loaf into a bowl, you're going to add your cream cheese frosting. And the key to cake pops is actually to not add too much frosting, which is why we're adding such a small amount. So I did start out mixing this with a spatula, which you can do, but eventually you're going to need your hand anyway, so sort of kind of knead it into the dough and just make sure everything starts to stick together. And then once you're finished, the dough should be not overly moist or mushy, but you should be able to form it into a shape with your hands if you need to. So now we're going to form our cake pops. I'm using a 2 tablespoon ice cream scoop, and you're just going to round them into little balls. And then now we're going to skewer our balls. I'm using grilling skewers that I just got at the grocery store. They're just wood skewers with a pointy tip. I would recommend using these over popsicle sticks because they tend to hold on better to the cake pop. And then we're just going to take some of those toasted hazelnuts that we have left over that we didn't make for hazelnut butter, which I forgot to mention. Save some, but you know, you're not making this recipe with me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just save some hazelnuts and then chop them because we are going to roll our cake pops in them. And then we are going to melt some chocolate. So I didn't have too much chocolate, so I'm using a mixture of a chopped chocolate bar and some dairy-free chocolate chips. But I've shown you before how to melt chocolate in the microwave. So, you know, just go back and watch those videos, or you should probably know how to do it anyways. But yeah, so now we're going to assemble our cake pops, and you do have to move quickly so the chocolate doesn't melt, but you're going to take the cake pop and coat it in the chocolate, but you do need to shake the chocolate off because there's too much on it. So you're going to gently roll the stick in between your fingers so the chocolate falls off, as you can see here, but you don't want to roll it too fast or the cake pop will fall off of the skewer. These are kind of tedious to make, but they're fancy and worth it, and you know, I just wanted to go the extra mile for this video. So after you've rolled the chocolate, you're going to coat it in the toasted hazelnuts and then place it into a piece of styrofoam. I just used a leftover piece that I had from a package. You can also place it on parchment paper, but then your cake pop's not going to be round, so you know, that is up to you. Then yeah, just repeat with the rest of the cake pops until you have coated all of them. And then afterwards, you're just going to let them cool for a few hours until the chocolate hardens, and then you are ready to serve them and enjoy them.
Okay guys, first off, today we are joined by a special guest, Jasmine's mom. She doesn't have a YouTube, but she does have an Instagram, Sweet Simple Mom, and she makes a bunch of awesome recipes, so I'm going to link it below so you guys can follow her.
Hello.
And yeah, so these are the finished cake pops in my festival thing. And now we're gonna try them. Oh, should we cheers?
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers. My nut chunks are really big.
Wow, that's bomb. Sorry,
Thank
babe.
you.
You can't have it.
No, I'm sorry, babe.
Actually, it's really good.
They were a hassle, I will say. If you don't want to put in the effort, just like make pumpkin bread and drizzle chocolate on top. Like, they're a big pain in the butt to put together.
This way.
That's true. If you're looking to impress someone,
Good for parties.
I guess these are the way to go.
It's cute and it's delicious.
Thank you.
So, probably worth it.
Oh, so what did you make, Jasmine?
On our channel, we made a pumpkin chocolate mousse tart using the chopped ingredients.
It tastes really, really good. Oh, we didn't really explain, but Chris is out of town, so that's why we have
Replacement.
our guest. An upgrade. No, just kidding. Sorry, Chris. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Oh, and don't forget to vote on the recipe that you think should win after you watch Jasmine's video, of course. I think it's up here. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I guess we can say bye.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to vote and check out Jasmine and Chris's video, which I will have linked below. And another special shout out to Jasmine's mom for being the guest star while Chris was out of town. That's pretty much it. And now I'm just gonna quickly talk about why we're not doing any more chop challenges. It was completely my decision and Jasmine and Chris were supportive of it. Honestly, I grew up loving Chopped as a kid and I have been wanting to make this series for such a long time because I thought it would be really fun and exciting. And to be blunt, like the negative comments have honestly ruined it for me and I just don't want to do it anymore. I understand that Chopped like is supposed to have weird ingredients, but also I wanted to make it sustainable for us. So I tried to come up with that compromise last time and you guys just kept complaining. And I know some people were still supportive, but if you guys don't like it and like we're already busting our butts trying to do something, I just really don't see the point in continuing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it while it lasted. I know I really did, but I just started to dread the videos and the comments every time I posted one, which kind of sucks because like I said, Chopped was like my favorite show and I was so excited to do this, but I just feel like I really do not enjoy it anymore and it's not fun for me. And I have the right to put stuff on my channel that I want to put on my channel, but I also want to listen to you guys and it seemed like a lot of you didn't like it. So we're taking a break from them, maybe indefinitely. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be a break for now. But yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm still going to be filming awesome content for you guys, just in a different way. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next video and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.